Hello, it's Candace here, and I'm just talking to you about the SCATBI. For us, it's the shortened version, but it's actually Scales of Cognitive Ability for Traumatic Brain Injury. Long word, but it's okay. It was produced by Linda Adamovich and Jennifer Henderson in 1992, and it cost about $331. And it's by the company ProEd. This is a good test for all ages of acquired brain injury specifically, and then its strength is very reliable and valid, and so it's easy to follow and administer once you read the manual and see everything that's in it. It should take about 2 hours, which is longer than most tests because most tests take about less than an hour, but this is testing cognitive and perception, orientation, organization, recall, and reasoning. Within those that takes about 10 to 45 minutes for each one. So it takes a long time. For a patient with TBI, that's pretty long, but hey, it's a test, so you get your results back. Like I said, the test is broken down into 5 subsets: perception, orientation, organization, recall, and reasoning. And then so for this test, you need the manual, of course. You need the record form, the stimulus cards, the stimulus book, the stimulus tape, and the audio cassette player, which we don't use anymore, but it still comes with it just because it is an older test. A pencil and pen, and then a piece of scratch paper to write on, or for your client to write on. It's pretty easy to give because it's broken down into individual 5 subsets or 5 parts, and you don't have to do the whole exam. The process of giving the test is very straightforward, so it basically tells you what to say. It doesn't really matter what it is, it just tells you what to say. And then, so for pretty much the whole thing, just you sit down, you do it, and then after a while, it's about 2 hours, so just stick in there and you'll be okay, because it takes forever. But that's pretty much the SCATBI, and now I'm going to give it to Emily and Allie to tell you the rest.
Hi, this is Emily and Allie, and we're going to talk to you today about the SCATBI, or the Scales of Cognitive Ability for Traumatic Brain Injury. First, we're going to talk about the validity and reliability of this test. So basically, this test is very reliable. It comes up with an average reliability of about 0.92, which is considered excellent. And the validity of the test is determined by the content validity, criterion-related validity, predictive and concurrent validity, and the construct validity. And all of that works together to determine that this test is exactly determining or exactly measuring what it says it's going to measure.
So there's different types of scores with this test. There's your raw score, that is just a compilation of all the data that we collect. There's the normed score, the standard score, which compares your score to your peers or others that are taking the test. And there's a percentile rank, so if you score, let's say, in the 95th percentile, then that means that you score higher than 95% of the people who took it. So for this test, the mean score is 100, and then there's a standard deviation of 15. There's the lower functioning composite score and the higher functioning composite score in this test. The lower functioning score is a combination of the perception discrimination test, the orientation scale, and the organization scale. And the higher functioning composite score is a combination of the 2 final scales, which are the recall and reasoning scales. Then the total composite score is the total of the 5 scales. The severity score describes the range from severe to average to normal whenever you're assessing the performance of the person taking the test. For this test, there are no basal scores involved, but there are ceiling scores. So you begin at the first subtest, and then you work your way through. And when the client hits the ceiling of the test or completes it, then you move on to the next subtest. So now we are going to give you a little demonstration of how you would give the test. So this is the perception and discrimination section of the SCATBI. So what I'm going to do is I have the first 16 stimulus cards right here, and I'm going to place stimulus card number 1 face up in front of the patient and say, this is a circle. I will show you some more cards one at a time. Tell me or gesture if the card is a circle. Ready? So I have the next 15 cards, and I'll show her each card for 1 second, and if she gets it right, if it is a circle, then she gets 1 point, and if she incorrectly says that it's a circle, then I will take away a point, and we will go until we run out of cards or until she reaches 0. Okay.
That's a circle. That's a circle.
Okay, so since she got this one right, she would get 1 point, and she would get no points for this because it wasn't a circle, and she said it wasn't a circle. This one she said wasn't a circle, so we would subtract a point, which would bring her back to 0.
Now we're going to do the orientation subtest of the SCATBI. I'm going to ask Allie 3 questions, and with each question she will either answer immediately and receive 2 points, answer after hesitation and me giving her multiple choice options and you receive 1 point, or answer after the multiple choice options and get it incorrect and receive 0 points. You ready? Okay, so the first question, Allie, is how old are you?
19.
Great. So Allie will receive 2 points because she answered immediately and correctly. Next question, Allie, what year is it? Here's 3 options. It's either 2016, 2017, or 2018.
2017.
That is correct. So Allie would receive 1 point because she answered correctly, but she answered after I gave her multiple choice options. Now, the third question is, who is the president right now? Okay, it's either George W. Bush, Barack Obama, or Donald Trump.
Barack Obama.
Okay. See, Allie answered incorrectly after her multiple choice options, so she would receive 0 points for this question. Okay, now we're going to work on the organization subtest of the SCATBI. I'm going to hold up this picture to Allie, which shows 6 different kitchen utensils. And I'm going to tell Allie, take a look at these pictures. Which ones do not hold water? Perfect. So Allie chose these 2 top and this bottom image, and these are the correct answers. So she's going to receive 1 point for every correct answer that she chooses. Now, since she chose all of the correct answers, that proves that she also understands that this bowl, this pot, and this measuring cup do hold water. So she's going to receive 6 points total for understanding the purpose of each of the 6 items.
This is the recall subtest of the SCATBI. So I'm going to show the stimulus book to page 20 and say, I'm going to show you a sign and then take it away. I want you to remember the sign and then find it in a group that contains other signs. Ready? Here's the sign I want you to find. Okay, now I want you to find that sign on this page. Correct. Since she got it correct, I will give her 1 point, and if she had missed it, I would give her 0 points. This is the reasoning subtest of the SCATBI, the final test. I'm going to tell Emily, now I'm going to read a few stories. Listen to each one carefully. After I read the story, I want you to tell me what situation was described in the story. You look out in the countryside below and see several small towns spaced out along a big superhighway. The captain's voice comes over the speaker telling everyone that you are making your final approach. Where are you?
I think you're landing in an airplane.
That's correct. So I will record her response verbatim and then give her 1 point for her correct answer. You wait for the doors to open and then you step inside. You press the button and wait for the doors to close. You wait for the doors to open again and walk out. Where are you?
I don't know. Are you on a roller coaster?
So I'm going to record her response verbatim, and since she answered incorrectly, I'm going to give her 0 points for that answer.
Thank you for watching our informative video about the SCATBI, or the Scales of Cognitive Ability for Traumatic Brain Injury.